In this lesson we cover two basic concepts, skill and competence, and how we can build a competence from a skill without confusing the areas of meaning. In fact, these are two concepts that often recur in curricular planning and whose implications determine the nature of the proposed training activities as well as the expected results. The starting point of the reflection is the double observation that in common language the two terms often have overlapping meanings, but that at a scientific level the boundaries between the two semantic areas must be defined precisely. Among the many definitions of ability, we refer to the one provided by Reed in 1969 which, although dated, describes its basic characteristics precisely. According to this researcher, ability is the learned capacity to achieve predetermined results with maximum certainty, often with a minimum expenditure of time or energy or both. In particular, a behavior is considered able if these 5 elements are present. Speed, due to the elimination of superfluous processes, activities, movements. Trust, linked to an increase in familiarity with the performance. Anticipation, linked to the ability to think ahead and thus anticipate subsequent data. Automation, linked to the associated decrease in conscious control. Irregularity, i.e. the ability to display skilled behavior even under unfavorable conditions. But if we remove the term ability from the diagram and write the term competence in its place, we discover that the characteristics of skilled behavior also apply to competent behavior. But then where is the difference? What is different about competence that differentiates it from ability? In literature there are many answers. Here we offer our. We consider competence as the ability to use a skill in a new or unexpected context. The implementation of a skillful behavior in such situations allows to verify more accurately the level of actual mastery reached by the user. The contexts to be prepared for such verification can be various and different. A familiar but much more complex and articulated situation. You are good at solving problems in plane geometry, now let's try with a solid one. A totally new but not particularly anxiety-provoking situation. You work in a supermarket and you have learned how to use the cash register. Now, knowing that it is rush hour, let's try it with 2 customers who have trolleys full of shopping and are in a hurry. An unexpected and emotionally intense situation. You have demonstrated that you have learned the landing maneuver very well in the flight simulator. Today we propose that you apply them in situations of stress or failure. But at this point the question arises spontaneously. Should we limit ourselves to evaluating the skills as is usually done, or is it also possible to build them, making them emerge from the abilities? The answer is, yes, we can do it by transforming the logical space that exists between the two concepts into a design space in which to operate through strategies. We have identified 3. Cognitive transfer, transcoding, recontextualization. Cognitive transfer, that is, the phenomenon by which something previously learned can be extended to a subsequent learning activity. For example, you have learned the rules and theorems of plane geometry and now try to apply them to the geometry of solids. Transcoding, that is the ability to spontaneously restructure in different ways a certain knowledge as an adaptive response to changes in situation. For example, after reading a poem you are asked to represent its contents through a drawing for which each stanza of the composition is transformed, that is transcoded, in graphic form as an image. Recontextualization, that is, the assignment of new contexts of meaning to the contents learned, such that the same configuration acquires different identities depending on the contexts in which it appears. The classic example that explains the concept under examination comes from psychology. A patient suffering from neurosis is helped during the psychotherapy session to construct new contexts of meaning so as to be able to read his experiences from a point of view that does not cause anguish. In conclusion, we can say that arranging situations in which we are asked to use the acquired knowledge to transfer it to other contexts, to recode it in other languages or to change the point of view from which it is read stimulates the knowledge itself to refine itself at a metacognitive level. In doing so, new performances are generated that transform ability into competence.